Meet Luke. A few weeks ago, approaching women was his biggest fear. Now, it's second nature. No gimmicks, no pickup lines, just real connection. His dating life changed forever. Here's how he did it. This is his story. Luke, how's it going, my friend? It's good to see you, man. Good to have you on the call. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Not too bad, bro. Listen, first of all, thanks for getting on the call. I appreciate you doing this. This is going to be a really important video, I think, for a lot of guys out there who are struggling with their dating lives and who are considering getting some help and support. So, if you don't mind, we're going to go through some questions about your journey. Hopefully, that will answer some questions for some of the guys who are kind of on the fence and maybe thinking, what should I do? And give them a bit of courage to take action.
Yeah, perfect. So Luke from South London, 29 years old. So basically, I just wanted to reach out to Seb. I mean, I was relying very heavy on things like Tinder and these like online dating apps. And to be honest with you, I was never a big fan of them, and I always like to do things sort of the old-fashioned way. So I wanted to reach out to you because I needed someone to basically walk me through and guide me through cold approach and just how to do things the old-fashioned way. And it was like small details, things that I wouldn't have even thought of doing that you like highlighted to me. You guided me like really well. You showed me sort of like flaws in my game, helped me sort of like refine my approaches and my methods. So it's basically I just wanted to reach out to you just to ask for your guidance and your support, and mate, you've delivered like 100%.
Mm. And you said something I think that's quite interesting. You said that you were over relying on online dating and you wanted to switch. I think a lot of guys are relying on online dating and they're quite unhappy. So, just based on your own experiences, why is it exactly you wanted to switch to meeting women in a more traditional way?
Yeah, do you know what it is? I just feel like dating apps are just so saturated right now, and like you're competing with so many men on there, and girls have just got an abundance of options. I've got so many better results from working with you than having to rely on a dating app. I think dating apps in general, they're not designed to help you find someone if that's what you're looking for. Like you might get the odd hookup, but even that now is very few and far between. I remember going on Tinder maybe 3 years ago, and like because I was in a relationship and then we broke up, I went back on there, and just 3 years later, the whole game has changed. Like I had so much more success before, and like now it was so much harder. And that's kind of what prompted me to reach out to you in the first place. And to be honest, mate, I'm glad I did because we got some good results.
Definitely, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, bro, because you got some great results. Did you have any hesitation about investing in your, in your dating life in this way? Because obviously, I think a lot of guys they're happy to spend money on Tinder or money on any other online dating site, but when it comes to coaching, they kind of seem a little bit more reserved. Did you have any of those concerns? And if you did you resolve them after we had that initial consultation call?
Yeah, so what I did first was I checked out your YouTube and I checked out some of your videos. And I liked how you handled the situations in the boot camps, kind of similar to the boot camp that we did. That gave me the confidence to reach out. And then when I reached out to you and we had that initial consultation, you walked me through everything. You were very accommodating. You answered all my questions. You broke it all down for me so that it was easy for me to understand, easy to understand the steps in the process. Yeah, I think after that call we had, well, I was ready to get started.
Was there any particular moment before we started the boot camps that you thought, right, I need to get away from this online dating stuff?
Yeah, after we did our first boot camp, I just decided to come off of Tinder. Just thought it was a waste of time, purely based on the results that I got with you just from our first boot camp. Didn't feel the need to have it anymore, and it was just a waste of money. And doing it the old-fashioned way and just approaching women using your methods has has got me more results than going through Tinder.
And another question for me then, going off top of that, do you think that most guys could learn these techniques? Do you think most guys would benefit first of all and then learn these techniques to get good results with women if they really kind of put their mind to it and really invested the time to learn it?
100%. But the first things first is you've got to be open to learning. You've got to want to listen. These strategies do work, but what's great about hiring you and having someone there is the guidance. That for me is what really helped me out, and it's just the small details that you probably wouldn't have even realized that you were maybe doing right or wrong that you would pick up on. and you would guide me down the correct path.
And if we were to kind of really get quite specific on what benefited you the most out of the coaching, let's say if you had to pick two or three things, what would you say those are?
Sure, things like how to approach a woman. The one thing I didn't even realize I struggled with most was, I think, just flirting, and just little key prompts from you, and indications and cues that, oh, this girl said that, you could have said this. That helped me out massively, and I think that just took my game to just a whole nother level.
So how did the strategies that we worked on during our coaching sessions, like the boot camps, the online sessions, how did they actually have a impact on your dating life outside of the coaching?
So it's actually given me the confidence to just go out and do it on my own. The strategy calls are great because it just sets you up for the boot camps. And then the boot camps are just so vital because you have to get the reps in, and you have to get up the numbers. It's like anything, practice will make improvement. Speaking to you and using the strategy that you taught me, I've now been able just to go out there and just do it myself. And I've got results from just doing it myself as well, which has been great. Yep.
So let's discuss a little bit about the things that you've achieved since the coaching began.
The first boot camp, I got 7 Instagrams, which was my first one, but you always encouraged me to get the number. So on the second boot camp, did a little bit of work on that one, and I got 5 Instagrams and 2 numbers. And then on the third boot camp, I got 3 Instagrams and 3 numbers. But since those 3 boot camps, picked up this hot little Brazilian, and yeah,
Things are going well.
things went well.
A lot of the girls really liked you. You kind of picked up things very quickly, but because you were open to listening, like we were discussing, just that Brazilian. I mean, that Brazilian girl is like stunning, isn't she? I mean, she's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I was well pleased with that one.
But did it show you like the possibilities as well? Like, did it open up your mind a little bit to the fact that holy shit, I don't have to be on these dating apps. I can just learn practical dating skills and just literally go out there, apply them, and very easily date really attractive women?
Oh, massively, like massively. Like, this just took it to a whole nother level. And I think everyone's going to come into this at different levels. So there's going to be some guys that are more confident. There's some guys that are going to be more shy. What's great working with you is that you accommodate everybody. And I've seen you do it from, speaking to your other clients. Mate, the whole experience has just been really, really enjoyable. More than anything else, like, it's a little bit nerve-wracking at first, approaching strangers, but with your guidance, and with the repetition, it's easy.
Would you say you'd recommend it to guys who are beginners, who maybe have never even approached a woman and who were really struggling? Do you think they would benefit from something like this?
100%. Like, if you're a beginner or you lack confidence, just reach out and just have a chat with you. It worked for me. It can work for you. It's worked for your other clients. So just take the leap. What do you have to lose at the end of the day? You're just going to continue on the dating apps, and you're not going to find a relationship. You're not going to be hooking up with girls. Every day that you wait, you're just allowing more time to go by. And actually, what I said to you was, I wish I'd done this years ago, to be honest.
It's crazy. It's crazy how many times I hear that, I wish I did it earlier, and from guys who are older than you, guys who are like in their mid-30s and they really wish that they did it earlier. Stop thinking about it and just do it. Because that's kind of how it is. You can't keep thinking about it. You got to just get your ass out there and start approaching. And then if you're struggling, get some support, because it can streamline things so much if you got somebody who's experienced and who knows how to coach it. Is there anything that stood out about my coaching to you once we got started that maybe you weren't expecting?
To be honest, like, how well we got on, it was, after like our first boot camp and then going into the second one, I just felt like I was going to go and meet my mate. We were going to go and hang out. Like, you're very approachable, you're very personable, very supportive. I think it was in the second boot camp, I had like a little bit of not a wobble, but I was sort of, I was messing up a little bit, and you did the right thing. Took me outside, we had a little breather, went back in, and then smashed it. As a person, as a coach, I think you're ticking all the boxes. And to be honest, mate, I wouldn't have wanted to do this journey now with anyone else. So I really appreciate, obviously, all your guidance and support, and I'm going to continue to do it and implement the strategies that we've learned. So yeah, wicked, man.
What would be the one thing that you would say to someone who is really struggling with their dating life, is looking for support, is considering getting some coaching?
Do it. Just like, there's no other if, buts, or maybes. If you want to make a change, the first step is you approaching Seb, getting the help, or recognizing you have a problem in the first place. Problem is, a lot of people have ego and they don't want to admit they have a problem, or they'll blame it on women or shit women or whatever. Like, there's loads of lovely women. I can tell you now, just from coaching, going out with you and talking to women, there are lovely women out there, and you're the one who's not taking the first steps to reach out.
Some guys are going to say, but I'm afraid of rejection. What would you say to those guys?
I got rejected, but so what? I'm not out here trying to tick everyone's boxes. I'm only interested in speaking to the girls who like me as much as I like them. And then if we hit it off, or we get a date out of it, or we sleep together, great. Rejection is completely normal. It's natural, and you do a great job of letting guys know. I personally don't really have an issue with it, but I know there's going to be guys out there that will. It's not the end of the world. Like, I have plenty of girls reject me. It's not a problem.
And that's just to add on top of that, guys. Rejection. If you come out on the boot camp for full transparency, you're gonna get rejected. You're gonna get rejected a few times. And the beauty of getting rejected is actually that it is super necessary for growth. I've been through rejections, many, many rejections, probably more so than anybody you're ever going to speak to about the topic of dating, just because I'm obviously in it, just because I put myself out there so much. And when you do that, real growth happens and you build up a resistance to the fear of rejection by getting rejected. That's something that a lot of guys don't realize. I know the first step is super difficult. I remember when I was walking around for a couple of hours just looking at women, trying to muster up the courage to say hello, and I just wasn't able to do it. I remember the first time that I did it, and I got rejected. I actually just felt like this big weight off my shoulders, man. It was crazy. And then I was just
Yeah.
able to approach. And every time I got rejected, it felt a little bit less. And, it kind of desensitized me to the whole thing. And I became super, like, way more confident. Maybe you can relate to that as well.
And what I also like, what we used to do is we used to just make a joke out of it.
That's it.
Like, we would literally just laugh about it, and it's funny. Like, sometimes, like, the way you get rejected, it is funny. It's all about a mindset, and it's how you approach it. A rejection could be like the end of the world, or you can just make a joke out of it. And that's what we did all the time. We would just laugh, and it was a laugh. Like, boot camps are great fun, but it's all about how you approach it. I'm not saying don't be nervous. I'm not saying don't feel a bit insecure. It's natural, but how you approach it is one thing, and having said there to guide you is also an added bonus.
Amazing. Luke. And finally, how would you summarize the process in one sentence?
Do it, you won't regret it.
Amazing. Thanks, Luke. I appreciate your time, and we'll catch up
Well,
soon.
mate.
Speak soon,
See you in a
bro.
bit.